Hello and welcome. This video today will give you certain practical tips and suggestions for to create a good content marketing plan. Now, we all know the importance of content. Content is powerful, content is king. In fact, it is content that drives businesses today. And post the pandemic, the content, even content has moved from the physical to the virtual or the digital. So, whatever kind of content you intend to create as a business, you need to have a content marketing strategy or a plan in place because content that is randomly created will have no effect whatsoever and it will just go off like water off a duck's back. So, creating a good content marketing strategy is absolutely essential for businesses today, particularly today in an era where competition is stiff, everything is virtual, and customers are extremely brand and value conscious. So, whether you're just starting out with content marketing or you've been using the same approach for a while, it never hurts to um, sort of understand the basics of a good content marketing strategy. If you're using it for the first time, you need to make sure that it meets certain goals and meets certain targets. And if you're using it, and if you're not a first time user, you've been using it for a while, then you need to revisit it, and you need to make sure that it's innovative, it's up to date, and that it has relevance for your customers. Because a lot of people or a lot of businesses, they create content and they have a content marketing strategy, and they follow that, you know, year after year, which is wrong because market preferences change, audience tastes change. So you've got to revisit your content marketing strategy and figure out whether it's still relevant, what needs to change, and what new thing needs to come in. So now, just to sort of sum it all up in statistics, a study by HubSpot has said, the name of the study is Not Another State of Marketing. It says that almost 70% of businesses are actively investing in content marketing in 2020. So you see how important content marketing has become today. Earlier, it was just, like say 5 to 10% of businesses. But now, a whopping number or a large number of businesses are waking up to the need for fresh or good content. So now let's look at, the essentials or the tools, to create a good content. Now, the first tool that you need, or the first and most basic tool that you need, is to know the purpose of your content. Now, that's a fairly basic but very, very important um, tool. You need to know why you are creating this content. What is the purpose of the content? Now, to know what the purpose of your content is, you need to know who will be reading your content. That is your audience. You need to know who your audience is, what their age group is, what their demographics is, what their location is, what their market preferences are, and so you need to understand your audience thoroughly, and you need to know who you're catering to. That will give you the purpose of the content. Also, you need to know what problem you will be solving for your audiences. Now, this is a little tricky. Let me explain it to you better. Every business, every product, or every service is actually designed to cater to some need of the customer. That need can be seen as a problem. They don't have access to that product or service, which is why they need it. So that is a problem. So typically, you as a business owner or you as a startup entrepreneur will be seeking to fulfill this need of the customer. So that has to be um, condensed, or that has to be solidified, and that has to be understood well before you take the next step. So what is the problem that you will be solving for your audience, or what need of your audience are you going to satisfy? So you need to know the challenges that they are facing. You need to know your competition, what kind of products and services your competition is providing. And you also need to know uh, where you come in, at what stage you come in, and what exactly it is that you are seeking to solve for your customer. Now, the third tool, this is also a very, very, very important tool. The third tool that you should know is what makes you unique. Now, whatever business or whatever product or service you are promoting or selling, you need to remember that there is competition around. There is no business or venture in the world which does not have competition. Whatever you do, there is competition, and it is stiff. So, why must your audience or your customer buy from you and not from your opponent or your competitor? What is it that makes you stand apart? Now, unless you know that, you will not be able to translate it and tell your customers, that this is what we are, you know. And good content will help you convey that message effectively. So now you see the importance of good content. It will help you convey to your customers what makes you unique and why they should prefer you over competition. Now, the next one is the content format that you focus on. Now, here I'd like to point out a very a huge misconception that we all nurture. We all tend to think that content means written content, text. Whether it's on a website, whether it's on a social media handle, whether it's on a on paper, text. We think of content as text, but no, content is not text. Content is also text. That's one aspect, yes, but it's not just that. Content today means video content, blogs, podcasts, infographics, and many more. It's not just text, is also one of them, yes. So you need to know what content format you're going to focus on. That depends on your audience. Now, if it's a younger crowd, you would go in more for, say, videos or podcasts. If it's an older crowd, you'd go for, say, infographics or text. So you've got to really, really, really understand your audience and who they are to be able to figure out what content format you're going to follow or you're going to stick to. And of course, when you decide on your content format, budgeting will also come in. Because suppose, for example, you intend to focus on the video format. Now, the video that you're going to take, are you going to do it yourself? Are you going to hire a videographer to do it? Are you going to shoot the video within the confines of your home or office, or would you need a more sort of elaborate setting? Would you need the outdoors? Would you so all these things matter when you take budget into consideration. So you need to figure out a budget for that, depending on the kind of video you want to shoot. Because unless you're prepared with the figures, you won't be able to proceed much with your content or innovate much. Now, the next thing is called content publishing. Now, what is content publishing? Content publishing, especially in the digital world, it often refers to, uh, you know, um, after you create content, it refers to the promotion of content or the reaching out of content to your audience. It's not just enough to create the content, it has to reach out. So that process of reaching out is called content publication. So, content publication, one way of content publication would be to go live or to host a webinar, so that you reach out to your audience directly, you know. So, how are you going to publish your content? Are you going to post it on the social media channels and just be done with it? Or are you going to, organize a couple of webinars to familiarize your customer with your products and services? Or are you going to go live? Or are you going to have a Q&A session? What's it going to be like? You got to figure that out as well, your content strategy. So these are some basic tips and tricks to create a good content strategy. Your content strategy should be well thought. These aspects should be there. It should be well thought out. It should be well written and presented so that you can uh, quickly take a look at it and figure out what you need to do next. So that's all in my video today. But in the forthcoming videos, and then in the next couple of videos, I intend to um, dwell upon each of these content formats: video, podcast, infographics, etc., and to share with you my insights on how effective these formats are, what you can do to effectively market these formats, what format is ideal for what age group, and so on and so forth. So the next couple of videos will be focused completely on that. I hope you enjoyed listening to me today. These are just a few basic things. This is nothing that you guys don't know. I just wanted to share my insights and tips for a good content marketing strategy. We'll deal with all this in the forthcoming. How to present the content marketing strategy, how to write it. You cannot write it as text. So how do you write it? All these things I will deal with it. I'll deal with later on. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much.